Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Feelin' Feline, a podcast where we talk about what it's like being in our 20s in the 20s. For today's episode, I wanted to bring in a very old friend of mine, Chris from his band Painted Young, and talk about his experience with music, his come up, and how music has become a big part of his life. Music is such a big part of my life, so I'm really excited to talk about it. So yeah, let's get started. Hey, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Feelin' Feline. I have a very special guest today. I'm super excited. Chris from Painted Young. What's up?
How's it going?
First of all, I wanted to start with, how is everything? Literally, I just was telling you before we started recording this thing that I've literally known you since high school, and it's so exciting to just talk about your come up. I'm so excited to really get into it. But like, how is everything? Pandemic, COVID, and just life in general.
Pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah.
We've still been keeping pretty busy, considering everything that's happened.
Mm,
Um, we were set to record this album, um, a while ago, but because of that, we were only able to get one song in, and everything kind of had to get put on the back burner.
yeah.
So yeah, we just weren't sure when it first started, when the pandemic first started, we weren't exactly sure what we were going to do because everybody had to isolate themselves just to be safe. So we
Mm,
just weren't sure. Everything had to be pushed back. We didn't know if we should release that one song. But yeah, we didn't know what to do. And then once things started to get the slightest bit safe, like the slightest bit safer, we were just like, you know what? Yeah, let's continue finishing the record. And yeah, that's where we went from there.
Did you guys stop recording songs just overall during the pandemic, or was there like a certain method that you tried to keep up with, at least during the times that you couldn't really see each other?
We since all three of us do have recording rigs at home,
Mm,
we were able to like just write demos, pass them along to each other back and forth, give each other notes on what needs changing, what we want to keep, all that stuff. So we
yeah.
were kind of able to continue writing, but we weren't really able to uh I guess in that sense we actually were able to press forward with the album, just to figure out like what we wanted out of it. So
Yeah. I'm really excited. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I love because very few people stick with music, you know what I mean? Like, and really make something awesome out of it. It's hard. It takes a lot of dedication and hard work, and like you guys have been doing extremely well, and I'm so happy and excited for you guys. But for people who are listening that don't really know like the backstory, you know, you want to give us like a little rundown of how everything started and kind of how you got to this point in general.
yeah, so like the idea to like start playing in bands kind of came from like it's kind of started in high school. I want to say the summer after sophomore year
Mm,
was when I finally started playing around with other people because I've had experience playing with other people, but in a more organized setting through like school programs and whatnot, like school
right.
bands and whatnot. But I never really had a way to do it like outside of that. So summer after sophomore year of high school was the first time I was able to do that, and it was cool. And then into junior year of high school, I started getting into that a lot more, playing around with other people, like just jamming with other people, and it was great. And a couple of us like formed our first band, played a talent show, and it was great.
I remember that talent show you're talking about. Yeah, that was such a fun talent show.
Yeah, it was like it was actually the first time I felt like a sense of like real accomplishment
Hmm.
for myself. So I just ended up like wanting to chase more and more of that. So, yeah, um all throughout the my last couple of years of high school, kept playing in bands. Some of them didn't work out and just like kept moving on from one to another. As like any starting musician would.
Hmm.
but yeah, like after I graduated was when I started this band and thinking I want to make something serious out of it. So, and I keep in mind I just had no idea how to do that. I just wanted to make something serious out of it. So I just did it and I kind of made it up as I went along. So,
Yeah. I feel like that's a lot of the journey, like kind of taking it day by day and just seeing where something takes you. And I think that's a major aspect of just becoming like, you know, starting your music career. So, do you think that was the most challenging part? Did you have any other challenging, um, events that happened, or any like, I guess, speed bumps? I want to call them, and just like how you got to this point.
yeah, there were a lot of speed bumps if I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
From so this band started in um yeah, Painted Young started in 2013 if I'm going to be technical. Um it was a completely different lineup back then. First couple shows I wasn't even the lead singer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Um give it like maybe give it maybe like one show in, like a member like already quits. So
Oh wow.
it started off with four people. So it started off with four people. Me, playing guitar.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lead singer, drummer, and a bassist. After one show, our bassist, at that time, he quits. Just because he knows how bad he did. I'm not like I was hoping we could like all like grow together, learn together, but he
Mm-hmm.
was I guess he was just too, I don't want to say embarrassed, but like he didn't really think we wanted much to do with him after how badly he messed up that one show. I like I can't blame him, but at the same time, it's just yeah, it is what it is. I
Yeah.
never really held any like ill will towards him for that. It's a learning experience, so yeah. Um, and then we just stuck with the three of us for a little while, and then I started singing a little bit more, like passing vocals off between me and um our other singer,
Mm-hmm.
who picked up the bass after the bassist quit. So it was a three piece for a while, and we wanted to sound fuller, so we got another guitarist in on it. So we were a four piece again. Um, After a while, personalities just tended to clash, and that guitarist
Mm-hmm.
ends up leaving. Respectfully so. And so we got another guitarist in on it. Um, this At this point it's like 2014, 2015. We get this new guitarist in. So yeah, and things were going pretty well. And we were talking about like finally recording some original music after years of being a cover band.
Mm-hmm.
And literally right before we're about to start like recording, our bassist slash like other singer, he leaves the band. So it's just me, my drummer, and my other guitarist. So we're just like, screw it, we're just gonna go ahead and record this first record anyway.
Yeah.
And I just tracked the bass on that record. So yeah, that was that. And then after the record was done, after that first record was done, we hired we got another friend of ours to play bass for us, and that was kind of the core lineup for years to come afterwards. So
Mm-hmm.
from like 2015 to like I want to say 2017, we had this like core lineup. But the thing is, we had so many shows where we would need to hire fill-ins because not everybody could make it to a show. So in a lot of ways, like Painted Young has been like at least I like to say I'd like to say a lot of people in the scene have been in Painted Young at least
Yeah.
once. So
Mm-hmm.
um and yeah, come the end of 2017, all the members tell me that they want to quit.
Wow.
So yeah, and like it wasn't like one after the other, it was literally all the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, um good stuff. And yeah, I just didn't feel like it was I just still didn't feel like it was done yet. I still had a lot more in me that I wanted to like show to the world. So I carried the band on with well, I kept the name, but I it was
Hmm.
a solo project for a while, and then after that I finally was able to release a solo record under the band name, and that came out in 2019.
Hmm.
And that like that's when I like kind of took advantage of like of all the connections I had, and I hired a couple people to be my backing band and like learning my songs, playing them whenever I had shows, and it was great. And I um through that I was able to get closer to my current drummer because he and I had known each other for a while before that, but like
Hmm.
he and I really got to know each other when we started playing shows together. Um and he was the one that introduced me to our bassist now. And yeah, anytime I had a show, I would always hit them up because they always perform the best. So at
Right.
least that's what I thought. So yeah, um, and since then it's been uphill, and they're now official members, and I no longer have a giant debt in my wallet.
Oh, I can imagine. That's good though. I'm glad because it's definitely not a shock that any group of people, they go through a lot of different sometimes more than others, but like different people just trying to figure out that sweet combination. And I feel like from what you're saying now, it's kind of clicking and coming together, right?
Yeah, yeah. When we finalized our lineup in 20, like I want to say in the middle of 2019, when we
Hmm.
finalized our lineup, that was when we finally started like when we decided let's work on our first record together. So I had all these demos ready, and I showed a bunch of them to them, and they were really excited. So we started working on one of them, and once we figured out how we want the song to be, we looked around for record producers and whatnot, and it was awesome.
Hmm.
Because we were friends with another band um, local to Jersey called The Ones You Forgot, and they are amazing. I highly recommend checking them out. Um, but yeah, they introduced us to our current producer Rob
Hmm.
Freeman of Audio Pilot Studio, and yeah, just having those connections definitely helped us out. Um, because that first session we were able to get that first song in 45 after midnight, and yeah, it was all good. And then months after we finished recording, actually no,
Hmm.
months after we got the final master for that song, the pandemic started.
Love
So
the pandemic.
yeah. um so yeah, but like we've still been able to like keep in contact, keep working, whether it's on music, whether it's on like coming up with like other material like videos and whatnot.
Hmm.
We've still been pretty busy throwing ideas back and forth.
That's good. I mean, I just think it's awesome. For a really long time, I had like just in general a lifestyle that was totally interrupted by the pandemic, so I can 100% relate. So let's talk about your band name because I've always wondered like where you got the name from, and like super excited now to have an opportunity to ask what is the story behind your band name.
So it's 2013, I think, spring of
Hmm.
2013. I'm still in high school. There is a charity event going on at the high school, and they're looking for like students to perform at this event. And I was just like, why not? I'm gonna get a few. Like at this point, I didn't necessarily have um, a set band.
Hmm.
Like I was just like playing around with other people. I didn't have like a set group, but
Hmm.
for this, I wanted to get some friends together and set up a band to perform. And we had a couple of practices, and it was cool. So come time for the meeting to register our band to perform at this event, we didn't think of a name. So so we had no band name,
Oh my
and when it came
gosh.
yeah, when it came time, uh, when the head of entertainment, when he asked us, like, what our band name is, I I blurted out the first 2 words that came to my head, and Painted Young, that's what it was, and
I love
he
that.
yeah, it doesn't mean anything. It was just a spur of the moment, like, blurted out, like, random thing. So, like, I'm sure that's gonna be disappointing to some people, but that's what happened. I'm not gonna make some, like, I don't know, complicated, complex story about it. That's just what it is.
Oh my god, if I remember correctly, first of all, that's so funny that you say that, but like it's not disappointing, I would say. I think it's funny because you at least have like this memory that ties to how it was put together. Even if it was random and out of nowhere, that's still something super funny to like think about and look back on, especially now that you know you have something solid coming and more like work coming along the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because like a lot of people will ask me that is like, any is there any like special meaning behind the band name? And in my head, I'm just like, nope.
Nope, not at all. But listen, I think it's cool because I mean, when I like first heard about the name like Painted Young, it immediately just made me feel I don't know, it's and just in general, when you think of the words painted young, like it makes you feel reminiscent. It makes you want to think back on like not just your younger days, but great fun memories of your younger days. So I think at least now to me, like even just hearing your songs, it puts me in that kind of mindset that like just reminds me of good old days. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's pretty much what we want to do with our
I
music.
love
Just
that.
like make people feel good about themselves and like yeah, whatever the case is. Just if you're listening to our music, we want you to feel good doing it. So
Yeah. And it's so fun. I feel like sometimes I just want to like dance to them. I love it.
thank you, thank you. I definitely feel like we honed in on like our sound
Yeah.
this past record because the smallest similarities like it took there was a lot that went into it. There's a lot of stress that went into it.
I can
um
imagine.
but yeah, it was yeah, it's definitely one of the projects that I'm absolutely most proud of being a part
hmm
of. So
Speaking of the sound and I guess music and just how it gives people certain vibes, who are your biggest influences, like in terms of like, you know, how you shaped your songs and just music and chord progressions in general? Because like, you know, some artists in general just have like you know chord progressions they follow that give a certain vibe to people who are listening. So who exactly influences you the most in terms of music? And it doesn't have to be one person or band or artist, it can be more than, but like who are the top, I guess, 4 or 5 in your head that you can think of?
oh man, at the like that answer actually changes like pretty
Yeah,
frequently.
I bet.
Um um I for like the bands that started it all, for me, I would definitely have to say like Green Day was
Yes.
yes. Green Day was one that definitely like encouraged me to start a band, you know? I was like they
hmm
put on an amazing show, like catchy music, just so much momentum in their shows no matter what. Whether it's a ballad or like one of the higher energy punk songs that they're known for. But
hmm
yeah, they were the ones that definitely got me into like wanting to start a band and start writing my own music. Um, as far as creativity goes, I would definitely say Linkin Park. Um,
hmm
because they were the ones that inspired me to step outside of my comfort zone every once in a while.
yeah.
And as far as putting on a show and being dramatic or as theatric as possible, My Chemical Romance.
I'm
like
just throwing back to all these songs.
they just have this level of theater in them that you can't
hmm
ignore. So like no matter how like heavy their music is, no matter how like hard like there's that theater, there's that flair of drama in them, you know.
hmm
um those are definitely the three that inspired me to start my journey.
right.
um At the moment, as far as the record, the smallest similarities, a lot of All Time Low. I will definitely say All Time Low
Yes.
is an influence on all three of us in the band. Um, and there's some weird ones thrown in there. Like there's pop punk band named State Champs that a
Hmm.
little influences are thrown in there. Grayscale as well. Some that people don't think right away would be the 1975. Some influences from them are in there.
Hmm.
Owl City as well. Um,
Oh my god, I haven't heard about Owl City in so long.
yeah, it's funny. Like I didn't really think much of them until I heard that he was putting out an album in what 2018, 19,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
when it came out, I was listening to it a lot leading up to the creation of our record, and so some sounds from there are in the record as well. So it
Hmm.
was yeah, it was inevitable.
I love that. It really is just like influence on what you're listening to. So speaking, okay, those are like the major bands and influences and stuff. But do you also, I know it's kind of a weird question and maybe outside of the box, but do you also think like the time or mentality, I guess, that you have at that certain point also affects how you're writing your music and like what lyrics are applied to the song? Because, obviously, like in the wintertime, me personally, I'm always a little bit more sad and just for random reasons. And maybe because it's not sunny outside or I don't really have any plans most of the time. I feel like that's when I really write about, obviously more sad stuff, but also just a different tone, I guess, in the chords that I put into the lyrics and things like that. So, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's all that noticeable when well, if you look at the three records that Painted Young has out now,
Yeah.
um, it's a lot of not all of it, but a good majority of it is just like happy go lucky, like
Hmm. Hmm.
just high energy love songs or whatever, um, love songs, breakup songs or whatever. But like I don't know, I can't really say if there's any like um it's definitely all based on personal experience, and pretty much that's pretty much it for
Yeah.
now at least.
Yeah.
Um, it's like I don't think I'll ever write anything that's not like personal, or at
Hmm.
least I don't know with it's kind of weird for me writing stuff that isn't exactly like that I don't necessarily know about, obviously, just because
Hmm.
yeah. Um, but yeah, just having that level of myself put into these songs and being put out into the world, like
Hmm.
that's definitely what separates them from anything else I've listened to. Um, like a bunch of influences just being, love life,
Yeah.
mental health, which
Hmm.
I have yet to fully tap into just because for the longest time I've had these like lyrics regarding mental health like in my back pocket, and I just haven't been sure if they're ready to be put out into the world and whatnot.
Hmm.
But I think like it might be too soon to say, but I do think the next record after the smallest similarities is going to be a little bit darker lyrically. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's very easy to get super personal in songs, but I feel like a lot of times people listening like forget that there's a story behind the lyrics, that there's a person behind the lyrics who, is writing it based on their experiences and really raw feelings. And I truly love that about music, and I know that like, sometimes it's hard to kind of portray it in the right way. So I can understand from that aspect that like, sometimes you're like iffy about putting it out because you just don't know if it's, you know, the right time for it, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. And like there a lot of people just listen to the song, and I don't know, for a lot of it they just think there's like no rhyme or reason
Mhm.
um for the song being the way it is, but there's a reason for the rhyme. So
Yeah, always a reason.
yeah.
So I guess now that we're in the topic of like writing songs and vibes and stuff, have you ever like hit a mental block and like basically like what is your process in kind of figuring out the lyrics and the music? Like do you start with the music then the lyrics? Do you start with the lyrics then the music? Like how do you handle things where you're like basically I can't think of anything, like oh my god, like why is my brain not working? Like how do you handle all of that?
Um well, luckily for me, there was a period where I just could not stop writing lyrics.
Oh my god, that's
So
amazing.
I have it sounds weird, but like I want to say some years ago, like I just could not stop writing all my thoughts out
Mhm.
and all that stuff. So I have a pretty extensive backlog of lines, lyrics that I could use in case I run into any writer's block and whatnot. And
Mhm.
if they don't necessarily apply to what I'm trying to write about, then I like I gotta start somewhere, like as long as like I just find comfort in knowing that I'm gonna start it, and like as long as I have the want to start it, then it's
Yeah.
gonna happen at some point. It's not like
Right.
it's not going to happen at all. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, there was as far as writing the song, it each song is actually pretty different, like whether
Mm.
the music is started first or the lyrics are started first. It definitely changes between songs. um uh, for the smallest similarities, it's I'm actually trying to think back. um what was it? um it was definitely, I want to say, a good majority of it. Like most of the songs, the music did come first.
Yeah.
um like songs like Nothing But the Best, uh We've Stopped Time,
Mhm.
OMG, and Sunset. Those four, I know for sure the music came first, and I had to like write up lyrics or like go through my catalog of lyrics just to like
Mhm.
find something to write about and then apply them. As far as the other two songs, 45 After Midnight and Make Up a Novocaine, I think, yeah, I think I could confidently say that the lyrics came first and the music came second. So,
Mhm.
like, it really does change between songs.
And okay, so in terms of I guess like once you have your songs put together and whatever, how has social media been your best friend? How has it been your enemy? Like I know it's takes a lot of extra effort to basically get the word across, right? That hey, I have a band, I'm making this music, you guys should listen to it. So how, close have you been with social media just in general and how have you been using that as kind of like a tool to let everyone know about your music and everything that you do?
See, like you definitely have to be careful with it, just because
Mm,
like
mhm.
you can't be posting about the stuff you make too much, because when it becomes all you post about, like it becomes redundant and boring to other people.
Mhm.
um if you push too hard, then like people become less interested, and I've definitely learned that. But there are still those people that who, if they actually will support you, then they actually will check out the music. um and it definitely is hard, trying to get the word out, because like because in this day and age, because it's so easy to make music, and it's so easy to put it out,
Mhm.
like for everybody. It's hard for it to get heard because everybody's putting it out. There's so much noise on social media that it's hard
Right.
to like sift through. It's hard to like just get it directly to who you want it to, who you want to hear it and whatnot. So it's definitely hard, but if
Mhm.
if um if it falls into the right hands, then it'll definitely help. Because we for this record, we actually ended up going to a we actually ended up going to this PR company um, called Carry the Four, and they've
Mhm.
helped us a lot when it comes to getting interviews, getting press done for the record, spreading the word, and it definitely has helped out. They also helped us like get onto like some playlists on Spotify and whatnot.
Mhm.
That definitely helps out, and it was all because somebody who works for Carry the Four had found us on Instagram.
Wow.
So yeah, it definitely helps out in a lot of those ways. So like yeah, if it finds the right people, then it'll help out. You just can't go forcing it, you know?
Yeah, I completely get that. I feel like it's yes, it's easy. I do agree it's easy to get your music done and out, but really spreading the word takes a lot of finesse. And I don't really have personal experience with that, but I can completely understand even just with my podcast, like figuring out the right way to advertise it and get it on different websites and this and that. And honestly, like I feel like it was a good choice in your end to at least get to like a PR company to help you because that's basically what they do for their job. So they already know the in and outs of everything. So I think that that in itself was like a good direction and even just for people in general looking for like getting their stuff advertised and out there. Did you sometimes like were you sometimes afraid of like trusting people like that or just in general to like get your word across? Like sometimes did you have these issues where like you weren't sure about I guess the company and like if you trusted it and like how many times you went through different companies? Like did you ever have that type of experience?
Um in smaller ways, yes.
Mhm.
But like in a few like mini ways, yeah. But when it came to this company specifically, we did our research first before we came to any kind of agreement,
Mhm.
and we were happy with what we saw based on other people's testimonies, so we wanted to give them a shot. And it's not like this is our first time working with a PR company,
Yeah.
because what was it, the last record, I'm Not Gonna Wait, I went to another PR company called 25/8,
Mhm.
and they did an excellent job with that record. um and it was awesome. But like my main reasoning for not going back to them for this, for the smallest similarities, was because I wanted to like test the waters with other companies and just see
Right.
what, like what they could do. I like no disrespect to anybody like that wanted to work with me,
Mhm.
but yeah, like I just wanted to see what other people can offer, and if like see what the results could be. And I just wanted to like get a read on everybody. So
Definitely. It's a trial and error. Like you don't know what's good out there unless you go and experiment.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, definitely understand that. Um so let's talk about venues because I'm very interested. Like I've seen you guys like um what is it in what's that place in Stone Pony? Is that the place?
Yeah.
I've seen that in Asbury Park by the way. If you guys want to listen to them ever, you should look out for them. But venue wise, like how do you make your decision? Do you have a specific like favorite place or, you know, are you just like how do I explain this? Like, if somebody from a different venue reached out to you, would you 100% take it, or are there other factors involved in, like, terms of location or who's available and things like that?
When it comes to booking shows, like the show's already set up. It's just a
Hmm.
matter of like if the promoter like has our contact and like wants us on, and we just got to see if we're able to, if our schedule is clear, then totally we would love to do it.
Yeah.
Um it's really just by pure chance like where the venue is.
Hmm.
Because we've played a lot of venues around Jersey. We've played Stone Pony, like you said. We've
Hmm.
played Brighton Bar in Long Branch. We've played House of Independence in Asbury, which is my personal favorite. um
Yes. I love House of
we've
Independence.
yeah um we played Stanhope House up
Hmm.
north. We've played Boon Tunes. There's a lot of places. We played Crossroads a lot too. up
Mhm.
in Garwood. But yeah, it's just a matter of like, um, if we're free that day and the promoter wants us on. Yeah, it's really like when it comes to like booking our own show, um, we we are. If I'm gonna be completely honest, like we are terrible at booking our own like
Yeah.
headlining shows and whatnot.
Mhm.
Mainly because like we're pretty convinced that like as far as this band has come, like we're still pretty convinced like nobody's gonna want to like sell like come sell out a venue for us, you know.
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
but you know, like the insecurities are there, like the doubts are there, but like we still want to try, you know. Um,
Right, for sure.
so yeah, and like also if we could like dish out the money to um pay the venue in case, you know, tickets not enough tickets get sold, you know, that's always a risk you got to take as well. But
Mhm.
we've been, I mean, we haven't played any shows recently like in the past like what, year and a half. but
Yeah. Ugh.
but yeah, like before then we were pretty good with that. Like there are a lot of show offers we were getting and we took a good majority of them, and it
Mhm.
was fun. It was a pretty consistent show schedule that we had, like, and it was great, and it spanned all over the state. Once in a while we'll hit up New York. Once in a while we'll hit up Pennsylvania, but like
Mhm.
a lot, like our stomping ground is like mainly Jersey. So
Did you ever have like a back-to-back show where you'd have to be in one place and then completely like opposite part of New Jersey?
oh
Like
yeah,
how'd you like let's say you had to be out for a long period of time. Like how would you guys basically like handle that?
I think we've only done that once.
Mhm.
Maybe we've done it multiple times. I can't remember,
Mhm.
but the one time that's coming to mind, we were set to play two festivals on the same day.
Right.
The first one being a I don't know, some arts festival at Monmouth University in Long
Mhm.
Branch. Um, and luckily that was like during the day, earlier during the day, so we got to play our set. And as soon as we were done, we packed up and like headed straight down to Seaside,
Oh my god.
right down to Seaside Heights, because we were playing the Jersey Shore Music Festival there. And our set was, I want to say, a little bit later in the afternoon, like
Mhm.
evening, and I don't. It was doable. It was
Would you do it
doable. Like,
again?
hopefully. See, I wouldn't necessarily say no. Just
Yeah.
because that was a fun day, but the risk of falling asleep while driving is a huge,
Oh yeah.
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 And I was just afraid, because like we had to take separate vehicles that day,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I was just like, everybody's tired. I'm so scared for everybody, and like as tired as I was still like anxious that like somebody was gonna like something was gonna happen that day. But no,
Right.
luckily everything went well. Um, but yeah, as far as like booking two shows in one day, the main thing is like if our sets are far apart enough,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
time wise, and like we have enough time to um break down, drive to the next place, and set back up, and then yeah, as long as there's enough time in between, we're not entirely opposed to it. So
Right.
yeah,
Oh, that's so fun.
it's it's a lot of work, but it
Stressful,
but it
I'm
really
sure.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so when you guys obviously have a show and stuff, I personally, because you know me, I don't like, I haven't changed in terms of performing in front of people. I still get really freaking sweaty. I overthink right before I perform. Like, and I don't even do it that often. Like, the only example I can think of right now is the smallest thing. I had to play piano for my cousin's wedding. Like, it was so easy. I just had to play like the same four chords, maybe the chords from the bridge here and there, but I was petrified. I was thinking about it like 30 minutes before. Then I got so nervous that like it made me like basically mess up, but obviously like no one really notices, on the
Yeah.
outside because they don't know your music in and out. Like they don't, know that you're supposed to have a chord at this specific lyric. Like it really depends. So how about you? Like, do you still get kind of nervous before performing? And like, what do you do to kind of like get yourself mentally prepared, before a show? Is there like a specific like routine you usually do each time?
One shot and one beer.
Yeah.
um,
That's the best way to do
no.
it.
um, as far as yeah, there's really no there's really not a lot of nerves anymore when it comes to performing. I
Mhm.
remember like back when we were first starting out, like I was just like like overly excited that I would mess up, and it wasn't even like the bad nerves. It was just like so like off the walls.
So hype.
Yeah, that like I just wasn't performing well because I was too
Mhm.
excited.
Mhm.
Um, and then I learned that I like after watching footage of that stuff, I was like, wow, I have to tone it down. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, because of that, I learned to relax a little bit and then like just keep my head clear when it comes to that and just focus on like getting the songs right and whatnot. And like the once you can do that, like you can start like you can then start being hype man. Like so like it's definitely like a weird balance that you have to maintain, but
Mhm.
it's so doable and it's fun when you achieve that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try, trust me. I don't do it enough as much as you guys, that's for sure. But okay, so like once you're on stage, blah blah blah, how do you like kind of control that? Because, obviously you want your audience to stay engaged, to stay like excited and stuff. So how do you like try to keep their attention on you guys when you're like performing on stage?
That really is a tough one. Just
Do you
because
just like
like
wing it, honestly?
a lot of it really is just going for it. A lot of it really
Yeah.
is just winging it, and luckily, like the thing is, since it's just the three of us, like
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm being held down by a guitar onto a mic stand. I have such an itch to like just grab the mic, put down my guitar, and like run all over the stage.
Yeah.
Um, cause like like guitar is really where I mess up the most when it comes to like performing. Is
Mhm.
like I found that very rarely mess up vocally, other than like forgetting lyrics once in a while, but like that doesn't happen all that often.
Mhm.
Um, so like not to say that it doesn't happen, but um, but yeah, like I feel like if I was able to put down the guitar, like if we were able to like hire another person to play guitar and I could just focus on vocals, like
Mhm.
make I could easily like grab people's attention a lot easier. Just because I'm able to run around the stage, I don't have to be weighed down by guitar. Um, but yeah, we're if anyone wants to play guitar for us, help.
Oh man, I can't even. That's awesome though. I feel like you should, you're the one who knows your music the most, right? So I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know, maybe if I thought about that, like the next time I play, like I'm the only person who really like knows the in and outs of this particular song. I feel like that'll help too with anxiety and stuff because I'm just like always thinking that I'm going to mess up, and obviously that's not a good mentality to start a performance or something with. So I feel like that's something I have to change too, and just honestly like see it as a good time instead of like something that like, oh, people are staring at me and judging my music and how I'm singing and how I'm playing and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's totally what it is. You just gotta have fun with it. Don't like if you become far too fixated on the fact that you might mess up when odds
Hmm.
are like you're probably not going to. Um, like it just sucks the fun out of anything that you do, any performance that you do. If you become so fixated on like the worries that you have, any doubts that you have, and if you do end up messing up, just keep going. It like it's just one time. Like it's gonna happen. It happens
Yeah.
to everybody. So it's not like you're the first person on the planet to ever screw up.
Right.
So yeah.
That's so true. All right, so we are approaching the end of this beautiful episode. I'm so happy that you're here. My, I guess, last kind of summarizing question is, what's coming up for you guys? Like, now that it's summer, and for now we have like really good opportunities to be outside and at venues and in large groups. So, like, what is coming up for you guys, music wise, group wise, event wise? Like, tell everyone what's going on.
So yeah, we have a new record out called "The Smallest Similarities." You can
Fun
stream it.
song, by the way.
You can stream it all on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff.
Mhm.
We also have a live session that's out on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So go check that out. Um, as far as future events, we have been in talks of booking a couple shows. We can't necessarily say anything just yet because it hasn't been confirmed, and we don't want to jump to conclusions. We don't want to
Secrets,
like jump the gun, you
secrets.
know? Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to jump the gun on anything just in case anything changes, you know. So,
Mhm.
but we do have a bunch of booked shows coming up soon. So, you could keep tabs on that on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that
Mhm.
stuff. We are filming a couple music videos for this record, so we do have a couple music videos in the works. So that's that. So
So
yeah.
exciting. And I guess just one very last thing. Do you have a message for everybody who's, thinking about pursuing a career in music, thinking about, whether they should stay in music, and kind of the biggest like thing that sticks with you throughout your whole music journey? Like, what's super important that you keep going for you?
Just give up now. Give us a chance to shine. I'm just kidding.
Oh
I'm
no.
just kidding. um, de-
I love it.
make way for us. No, definitely
Uh,
go with your gut. Just be happy with what you're making. Don't worry about whatever genres or styles that other people are doing. Just do what you like. Make the
mhm.
music that you want to listen to. Make the music that you like. That's what matters the most, because then you'll be happiest with your product.
That is amazing. I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining me in this episode. And for everyone listening, please give them a follow, give them a listen, go see them. They're a really great band. I love their music. It's so fun. And best of luck to you, Chris.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you guys so much for listening. I had so much fun recording this episode with Chris. And like he said, go ahead and take a listen to all their music. It's super fun. Just in general, very good vibes. So if you have any questions, concerns, DMs, or any topics you'd like me to talk about, feel free to hit me up on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. Instagram and TikTok are at Feelin' Feline Podcast, and my Twitter is at Feelin' Feline. And if you guys have been following my Instagram lately, I have super big news, and you guys are going to be the first ones to hear it. I'm releasing a website soon. It's currently in the works, and it's currently getting coded, and I'm working on putting up all the posts, but I'm super excited to share that with you guys. So yeah, that's it. Until next time, bye!